Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez 2 is the co-main event for this Saturday at UFC Fight Night, and I have to ask, why are we getting this rematch? Yair won the first fight against Ortega, and I'm aware that Ortega got injured in that fight, but the shoulder injury was caused by the armbar from Yair Rodriguez. And how the heck is Ortega ranked number 4? And how is this fight a title eliminator? I get that Ortega's pretty good, but he just hasn't been active. I would have much preferred to see Yair fight someone else, preferably instead of this rematch. Like, Yair versus Arnold Allen would have been awesome. And you could have gave Ortega Josh Emmett. Boom! 2 different and new matchups. Take my money. But screw it. It's still going to be a fun one. And I think I made it pretty obvious who I'm picking already. My pick for this fight is none other than Yair Rodriguez to beat Brian Ortega. Now, this fight is actually yet again another 5-rounder. And I feel like Yair is going to light up Ortega for all 5 rounds. And I don't think Yair will finish Brian since the dude has an iron chin. But Ortega is notorious for not having good defense. And it doesn't help Ortega's chances since he's arguably fighting the best striker in the UFC. And that's Yair. Yair does his best work when he's fully confident and when he doesn't have to worry about fighting a wrestler. And to be honest, that's when he usually brings that unpredictable factor. I mean, this guy is a highlight reel with the kicks coming out of nowhere, the wheel kicks to punches, the elbows from the bottom. And Yair has been active, man. Unlike Ortega, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I think Ortega's a bit overrated and he's going to come back with some serious ring rust. The dude hasn't won a fight since late 2020 against an out of prime TKZ, and somehow he's still ranked number 4. Crazy. And you can also argue the same thing about Ortega's elite BJJ. He hasn't submitted someone since like 2017 when he caught Cub Swanson with that guillotine. And I'm not saying that his BJJ isn't good, it just doesn't translate well to MMA. It's kind of like Gilbert Burns, how he doesn't get that many submission wins, even though his submission credentials are pretty good. And Brian Ortega hasn't fought somebody with this type of style like Yair. I mean, well, technically he has the first time and he was getting schooled. So I expect the same thing to happen. Yair is so unpredictable on the feet, like I said. He was giving Max Holloway problems on the feet. That's how good this dude is. I see this fight actually being similar to Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. I feel like if Yair can keep tagging Ortega for the next early 2 rounds, then it's going to be Yair winning this, no doubt in my mind. The only way I see Ortega winning is if he can try to bring that pressure early and fast and try to take Yair down and try to submit him. And look, I know I criticize his BJJ, but it's kind of the only way he wins, which is kind of funny for Ortega as well because he doesn't really possess the best takedown offense. But hey, I mean, he took him down in the first fight, what can I say? But I'm telling you right now, Ortega is not going to knock out Yair even if he's able to catch him with a really good shot. Yair has an insane chin just like Brian Ortega. Yair is just a terrible stylistic matchup for Ortega, and I truly feel like Yair is so underrated. I mean, remember how he schooled Josh Emmett and even Volk had to mix up the wrestling and striking just to compete with Yair, and I feel like Yair is going to get the next title shot after this. Look, I know I'm aware that Ilya said he isn't going to fight these old featherweights, but trust me, he will if the UFC makes him. And I honestly think this is an interesting fight as well. I honestly think Yair is a bad stylistic matchup for Ilya too, since Yair has that unpredictable style with his kicks. Now, I'm not saying that he beats Topuria, but the fight is interesting and I would love to see that personally. I see this fight being one-sided for the most part, with Yair Rodriguez ultimately winning by unanimous decision. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not. And please leave a like if you haven't already. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on my next one.